Hi City. I'm here today with Chris West, who's the Whitstable and Herne Bay Coastal Town Manager. Chris, thanks so much for having some time with us. I'm just asking Chris about Whitstable and what the needs of the town are and how us as a community can be of help to him. But first off, Chris, can you tell us what your role is as town managers?
Basically, I look after both coastal towns, Whitstable and Herne Bay. My role really is to boost the economy within the town, to make the town vibrant, support local businesses and get involved in the community.
Brilliant. And we were talking before, and one of the things Chris was telling us is how Whitstable's changed recently and how actually it's different to a lot of the rest of the country in terms of how it's developing. Can you just tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, Whitstable, certainly over the last 15 years, has changed dramatically. Whitstable, like many seaside towns in the country, was pretty run down 15-20 years ago. But things have developed. People with imagination and inspiration have really changed this town. And we were fortunate enough to be so close to London that it became a destination where people bought second homes when homes were very reasonable in the area. We had a few celebrities also buy some homes down here, which helps us regarding the publicity. And really it's gone from there. And you know, we've got a fantastic little town made up of almost 90% of independent businesses, which is the strength of this town.
And for you, what are the big pluses of Whitstable?
That it's run mainly by independent companies. I think that's fantastic. It's very sweet. It's got lots of little boutiques and it's quite unique.
Well, I think because Whitstable has kept as a small community with individual shops, and we haven't had the big majors coming in, knuckling in. I think it's managed to stay as a little village.
It's quite unique in the country.
What do you think are the main challenges you face in Whitstable?
Housing, I suppose, is always a problem, an issue. Houses are expensive to buy, expensive to rent.
Ethos of Whitstable is very much a tourist area, and people come from London and farther afield, and they tend to direct where pricings are, everything from housing to where you eat.
But the prices are starting to get up and up compared to everywhere else. But it's a nice area.
So I was saying, I don't think I've met someone from Whitstable who isn't very proud of their own town. And so just thinking ahead really to the next 5-10 years, what do you see as the major things that as a community we need to pull together on to ensure that we continue developing?
I think Whitstable is one of those places that is very community based, and without the community it just wouldn't be the same. People are so passionate about this town, and if you should be brave enough to criticise it, then you know, you're in a situation where you'd probably be wasted out of Whitstable. But I think the community is the key to the success of this town.
And in terms of kind of hidden pockets of need in it, I think they're not as evident here as maybe elsewhere.
I guess they must be, but I haven't really come across
it's not
things
as obvious
like that.
on there.
No,
it's not as obvious.
But there are areas of real deprivation as well within this area, which are well recognised in every sort of document that you'll find, the structure plans, social services, and those sort of people, many of them don't speak out because they are, and we've got people who are poor but give the appearance of having money. For instance, they live in a big house, but actually they're confined to one room because they can't afford all of the facilities which go with keeping a big house. And these people are very much forgotten about, and it is, if you like, what's going on with some of the community teams is to try and find those people.
Community is very important, especially like in Whitstable. Many people retire, come here just to relax.
So do you think
they need a social life?
But I mean, there's quite a lot of care for the aged, but a lot of it's you've got to pay, you know, private.
Being in touch with the people is very important. I've lived here 6 years now, and I come from London, London's Welsh background. it's a nice community. People do get on, but you've got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
There's so many volunteers. We've got some fantastic assets in the town, such as Whitstable Castle, which is actually run by volunteers. The Whit Trust that do a lot of work in this town, again, they're run by volunteers. So I think any volunteers that want to get involved in the town are welcome, but secondly, they make a major impact on this town.
That's one of the things really we're trying to find out, is how, as part of the volunteer sector and especially as a church, how from the outset of our life in Whitstable we can be a help. And so are there anything kind of specifics that you see in the coming year? Obviously summertime's a big event with the Oyster Festival, when we get an influx of visitors. Are there any things like that where we can partner with the town we're in rather than necessarily do something by ourselves, but can get involved in the Whit Trust? And are there other events?
I think yes, yeah. There's so many things happening in Whitstable, and I think any help that an organisation such as yours is willing to give is welcome. And I think it's just really networking with these other groups and getting involved, how big or small, it doesn't really matter. But I think in time that you will be certainly welcomed by the community, but you will be a major part in the community.
What role do you think the church should play in community life?
Well, I just think more or less most of them, what they're doing now is converting the churches so that they're not just churches, they are community sectors as well.
Yeah.
No, I think we've pretty much got everything in Whitstable, but it would be nice to have something for youth, something for teenagers to do, but not childish activities, things that they might be interested in, like sports activities or cinema events, anything to do with film, and I don't know, things like that.
Mainly a youth thing.
They're trying to shut the youth centre up, which I think is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they need somewhere to go to do activities. If they don't have somewhere like that, they'll be out on the streets.
And as you've already alluded to, I think there's loads more people coming from London and commuting and coming down, and so the business side of it's massively developing. Are there any major kind of social concerns that are influencing the town?
One of the major concerns is, which we haven't solved the problem yet, is the influx of vehicles that actually come into the town, because on a good day in Whitstable in the summer, the town becomes gridlocked, and at the moment the infrastructure isn't there to actually control the traffic management in such a way that would relieve the pressure. So that is a major concern.
I think one of the big problems here though is the traffic.
Yes,
Yeah.
it always has been a problem.
Now, whereas it wasn't before.
And the best thing about Whitstable for you?
Well, when the visitors have gone home and we have a bit of peace and quiet.
We're also standing in an area in the harbour which has so much potential, and the harbour board are looking at ways of actually improving the harbour. And I think in the near future we see things happening here which will be a major improvement for the town.
Fantastic. Sounds exciting. Whitstable is the place to be, and hopefully from the outset we can make sure that we're a blessing rather than just those who are consumers. Chris, thanks so much for your time.